Aces, I can promise you that not all sunglasses are built the same. Rick's Eyewear is crafted for durability, clarity and style that lasts. And we're so confident that we back ourselves with a 90-day free returns policy just in case they're not a perfect match. Use Aces for 20% off site-wide and find your fit right now at rickseyewear.com.au. Now let's get into the show. Welcome back, everyone. It's another episode of Tommy Talks, and we have Jack Higgins in the building, the Coleman medalist almost. You are, what are you, top 5 in the Coleman at the moment?
Wouldn't know, mate. Wouldn't know.
Mate, welcome to the potty.
Thanks for having me.
I saw you doing some great work with Felix, my mate, on the Players TV show. Geez, you're very good. Are you going to do some media stuff post-football, even during?
Yeah, hopefully. I think I can sort of turn it on when I need to. I can be flooded attack when the cameras come in. I can sort of turn it on just like you, Tommy boy. But yeah, I'd love to get in the media. Like I can sort of, I think if I got my language, because I always need to speak down how I slow down how I speak. So
yeah, well, I speak quickly as well.
Yeah, but I can understand because we both speak quickly.
Yeah. Well, you struggle in America. They don't know. They can't keep up. Yeah, they're very slow.
Yeah, but like getting in the media or something like that. Yeah.
I think that it'd be, it's a different bit of spice, you know?
Yeah, of course.
Most blokes in the media, if you haven't played 300 or won 3 flags or 3 Brownlows, it's very hard to get a look in. Yeah, of course. But you might win a Coleman, so you'll be right in that category, mate. Not at all. How you going? Yeah, this is always pre-record these, but this is fresh off the loss against the Suns. You were just having a laugh about, your performance. I said, mate, don't worry about that. You kicked 5 the week before. Just sum up football for people. Like you've just played in Perth. Obviously, tough loss, but your individual performance, you've kicked 5, and then the next week it's a bit tougher. Just give people a bit of an insight into how brutal AFL is.
Yeah, it's very brutal. Obviously, like one week you can be flying. Obviously, we still got rolled, but I played decent right against West Coast, and then the next week you can come out and have 6 touches and not a goal next to your name. So it's sort of about just not going too highs at the highs and too lows at the lows, because if you do that, you're going to be flat as attack, to say in the classics, but yeah, just keeping it real and just learning what you need to do better next time and just keep growing as a person and as a player.
Why do you think, like, on reflection, say, like, today you do your review during the week, but why do you think you only had 6 and kick 1 and it didn't go the same way against West Coast in your head right now? Just to give people an insight.
So what do you mean?
Like, you obviously would have worked hard, your preparation would have been perfect, but just the ball just doesn't go your way sometimes. The ball movement's not the same. People just don't understand that you just can't kick 5 every week. The opposition put more work in, was what I'm saying. It's not easy to stay at the top for that long,
Well, it's a lot for the small forward. I think, obviously, I played, I'm a bit biased, but I reckon it's the hardest role in the thing, because one day you can fall in your lap 6 times and you get in all the best positions in the world, and then the ball doesn't land in your lap, or you lead, the ball gets kicked over your head to a better option, and you think you're on, then you're actually not, because someone's up your ass. It's just so much small stuff, and then one game you play, and then let's say next week, and then I'm in perfect spot 4 times and they kick a few. You know what I mean? It just all depends on the ball movement, and the ball's coming in, you're leading. It's, mate, you play a lot of AFL football, that like it's not always about kicking goals and this, that, the other.
I know that, that's what people don't realise, is the pressure and all the other stuff behind the scenes, and even the goal assists. You don't get them next to your name in the paper, do you? You can have 6 of them, but no one sees
cares
them.
About them, mate.
But no, mate, you're having you're an unbelievable small forward. Like, I think it's not that you're underrated. Everyone really rates you, but now that you can see when they put the Coleman, top 5 up, and you were sitting there, I think last week, I haven't seen the graphic this week, but you were sitting 3rd, I reckon. And how tall are you?
178.
So, under 180 centimetres, and everyone else is probably a key forward. It's and call it what it is. You're playing at St Kilda, where you're down the bottom at the moment, and it's a younger list, which means less inside 50s, which means less opportunities. It's a bloody unbelievable effort so far. What are we, halfway through the season? So, well done, mate, because it's hard. I want to ask you the question after just giving you a pump up there, mate. It wasn't really leading to a question, but how do you think you're doing it? Like, you're small. Like, give some tips out there to people listening that are small forwards. What's some craft you can teach them?
Yeah, so I just sort of work really hard on the track, and obviously I watch a lot of football. Probably watch 7 out of all the games I can watch, like any games watch. I watch other small forwards, and I think I'm a crafty small forward, so like I don't have the best pace. I'm not the best runner, but I just do a lot of work on my hands and my craft, and had a lot of good mentors at the club and outside the club that I can always bounce off and tell me when I'm doing right and when I need a little bit of a slap, I can get a slap and just keep on improving on my work.
It's really interesting stuff. So you like to get out there on the track and listen to other people's opinions, but you don't really like to watch yourself, like you just said.
Yeah, of course. Like I find it really awkward. I'd rather watch some other small forward play, like let's say e.g. like Dan Butler for occasion. I'd rather watch his patterns than my patterns, just because I always, when I'm watching myself, I always like, even if I kick a goal or do something incredible, I always go, well, I could have done that better.
You critique yourself harshly.
Critique myself harshly. And I think that's why I'm an all right AFL player, is because I like, even if I kick a bag, or I always go, I should have done that better. There was a guy there, I should have done that. I should have got the handball, or I should have done a better lead there. Like, that's the thing. Like, I'm a perfectionist in that way.
And that's really good, because, you know, you want it to grow all the time. You're not satisfied. You know, you can't be kicking 5 and then just shaking the head around for the next 4 weeks. Yeah. People want consistency, and that's what you have. You spoke about your mentors. Like, who are some of those people you're talking about, maybe past or present players?
Obviously, I got some really good mentors out there. Damien Carroll at the club. I love, he's a development coach. I love him. We also got an awesome line coach. Brendan Bolton. He's awesome. Obviously Coach Carlton and been at Collingwood and been at Hawks when they won all the flags, so he's a star. And just outside the footy club, so Anthony Phillips. He just runs Phillips coaching there, and so he's a very smart man. He's been in the game for a long time, and always ask him questions, and every other other people out there. But I just sort of just listen to them and probably get the best out of myself.
What's some of the best things they've taught you, all those guys you just mentioned?
Just sort of like, as I said before, not getting too highs to the highs and too lows to the lows, and just there's always something you can improve on. Like your craft, you're never the complete player. Like Gary Ablett Jr., when he was having 48, 55 touches a week, like he always probably needed something to work on. So you never done that. There's always stuff to improve on, and just keep growing and learning off people.
When you're on the track, right, and you're trying to improve, like, what do you do? What do you spend most of your time on? Like, I'm kind of just going to shoot my shot here and say, I'd imagine you just love working on your goal kicking and maybe kicking it inside 50 to some forwards. And then obviously we do it, you know, when you're playing AFL, you do that many craft sessions on hands. So doing extra hands can sometimes be a bit boring.
Yep.
Is that kind of what you like to do?
Yeah, definitely. I love working on my goal kicking. Like, love snapping the ball. It's my favourite thing to do.
I was thinking I could just see you snapping it from the boundary line all day, right where you run out. That's right.
Not even the boundary line, just in front. Just snap,
really?
snap, right, left. Crafty. It's so hard because you know what AFL training's like. You could do a main training session and only touch the ball 5 times.
People don't realise this.
Yeah.
I was saying this the other day to someone. It was even when I finished football and I played amateurs. I couldn't get a kick at training.
Yeah.
And we'd all be feeling good. I go, I just want to, I don't even care if we do like lane work for 20 minutes. I just want to kick just kick the ball, because it's so much, the drills can sometimes be tough to get a touch if it's a full ground one, unless there's no one competing.
Yeah. Especially playing small forward.
And I know what your coach is like. So if you do T2, which is the Thursday session, you might do a couple of drills for defence, and then 2 8-minute, halves, and he'll call it early because he wants you fresh, and you've had one touch.
Yeah, you've had one touch.
And all he's looking at is just your defensive transition and making sure that stoppage structure is good. He doesn't really care about the touch and feel. Yeah. So it's and then the strength and conditioning coaches, they're pretty harsh on your minutes, aren't they? Like they don't want you out there. So it's good that you're still out there doing extra kicking.
No, definitely. And that's the thing, like I always go out like day before the game, go out for 20 kicks, me and the old man, and then go to the beach. So just trying to improve my goal kicking, try to improve, do some hands work, get the rebound and net out, like just do all that sort of stuff.
That's awesome. So you go out with your old man to like a local footy club?
Yeah, like a footy club, yeah.
That's mint.
Mix it up. We were at Gotch's Paddock on Saturday, so I probably won't go there again.
That's brilliant. And the old man would love that, wouldn't he?
Yeah. It's good. But we've always worked together, obviously, on my skills and my football. So it just brings you back to old days. So it's good.
Yeah, and that's the way to do it. I saw that. So you picked 17 when you got drafted. So you're always a young prospect and really good. And when you aren't the tallest guy, it means that you're probably, in my eyes, you're better at football, but people get a bit scared about the height factor. But you've certainly justified that. Let's just talk about Richmond days early.
Yeah.
I just want to ask you because, like, you know, when did you leave? 2021? Is that when you left?
Got traded at the end of 2020. So 2021 was my first
season. But I just remember the glory days of you at because obviously mates with a few of the boys there. But I just used to love your rev ups. You know, when you got in the circle, just give us a little bit of an insight into some of your favourite your rev ups and what made the boys laugh so much.
I remember it was halftime against Sydney, and I was just sitting there because I'm not like the best like speaker in front of a group. Like I can really struggle. anyway, I just like spurted out some words. So I'm just sitting there, like not even really concentrating and going, yeah. And then coach was like, here you go, get the boys, fire the boys up. And I just like spat something out. I can't remember because I was that rattled, but I just spat it out. And the boys loved it, and Dusty loved it, and all the teammates loved it. And I didn't think it was that funny what I said. And I can't remember what I said. But yeah, it was. And then after the game, I checked my phone's blowing up. Like, how good's this? And I'm like, yeah. Like, I just sort of said what I normally say. Like, that's how I operate.
Yeah. And that's the thing. Like, people just want to be a fly on the wall there, but you don't get that opportunity unless you're playing. And it relaxed the group. Like things like that from the outside. Other clubs are so jealous because, like, it's the perception is reality is what you would have heard that 1,000 times. The perception is you're taking the piss, but it actually calmed the group down. And then you guys, at the time, the Tigers as a club just went on and just won that many flags. But yeah, I just remember you always doing it after that, and it was almost a little bit of a G up. Like as a viewer, you'd be like, I want to quickly see if the boys do it.
Yeah. Oh, really? Jeez.
Yeah, well, because if you're like, are they going to do it again? And then you continue, and you're down by 20 points. Are you going to do it now?
Yeah, of course.
And they just consistently did it. It was pretty cool.
No, it was cool. Like at the time, I was an 18-year-old kid. I was that rattled.
Yeah.
Like I'm sitting around all these. Obviously, I got there after their first premiership, but I was that rattled because I'm like talking to all these premiership superstars. And like, I'm just trying to get a kick in my 5th game. And then the premiership captains go, oh, here you go, say something, get the boys up. And then, I'd just spurt something out. The boys would love it. And then we'd go and then we'd somehow find the way to win after that. So
good. What were your favourite memories and best times at the Tigers?
Best time at the Tigers was probably 2018 because I played a lot of footy, which was really good. We were playing the MCG. I was an 18-year-old kid. You know, it's like when you're an 18-year-old kid, like everything's just a bonus when you're playing in AFL.
Everything's just rosy, isn't it?
Yeah. You're
playing on, like, you don't have any coaching at that point. You're just so raw.
Raw, yeah. It's like, to be like, I'm 26 now until when I was 18, like, there's that much stuff that you wouldn't even think about as an 18-year-old that you do now. That makes sense.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was cool. I was playing my first year. I was playing at the G, Friday night, Thursday night, weekend. Yeah, let's go. I was loving me work a bit too much, but it's like, mate.
Yeah, I do, mate. Yeah. You get a win straight down a Freo. Who wants to come in?
Few drink cards getting shot around.
Drink cards. You feel like the king.
Yeah, of course.
If you lose, go home, funeral. As long as you win.
Yeah, definitely.
That's brilliant. Yeah, and then when did you leave Richmond? Like, how old were you?
I was 21.
21. And why'd you leave? Because you're
just
still contracted, weren't you?
Yeah, I was still contracted, and that's a very good question for me, Tommy. You're on fire, and it's only early.
Just warming up.
I just thought I just needed more opportunity at the time. I love my time at Richmond, but I thought that I just needed a new, fresh change, and that's why I got asked for the trade to St Kilda.
I wanted to be the main man.
Nah.
There's a lot of main men there now. You can't get a look in when you got Dusty in the goal square. He said, move it away.
Yeah, you're playing 80 metres out of the forward pocket.
Is that the forward line? What's the forward line structure now at the Saints? We're going to come back to Richmond in a second, but who's the main man? Because I struggle to see who, like, in terms of like who starts deep. Do you guys rotate it? Is it like whoever's hot?
Nah, it's sort of just we have like normally the tools down deep and then me playing up high, or it can change. Like, it's like, mate, it's not one set thing.
No, I know that, but it's like generally the big, powerful forwards up there. But you guys don't really have Kingy back yet. So it's, you see Sharman, you see a few others down there. You've kicked 3 or 4. It's like, we'll isolate you. But it's, you don't, it just looks like you rotated a little bit.
Yeah, we rotate,
And then who makes that call?
It's sort of the coaches, mate.
Oh, is it? You don't just go, come on, boys, I'm feeling it.
Never. I'm on one today, boys. Shoot up.
Back to the Tigers. What about some of the guys you mentioned you played with? But you played with Dusty, obviously, and Koch, and obviously the Meatball and all those guys. But what'd you learn from blokes like Dusty?
A lot. One thing I probably learned a lot of Dusty is that, like, when you train intensely, but then just relax. You know what I mean? Like, outside the club, like, just sort of try not to think about it. Like, obviously, like, I wasn't going to Dusty's house every night for dinner, so I didn't really see him much outside the footy club. But, like, when I saw him train, like, he trained hard, like, he was intense, like, he had them bursts. And that's what I really learned. And, like, I sort of tried to copy him in my first 2 years. Like, he's a 15 times better player than I was. But, like, you'd see him around the club and you're like, like, he'd be so electric at training, and then he'd relax, you'd never see him. Like, that's what I not sort of try to copy, but, like, you'd sort of, obviously, I was an 18-year-old kid. I'm looking up to these guys like, oh, maybe I can be half as good as him one day. So you'd look and sort of try to copy him if that sounds.
Yeah, no.
I don't know if that was like you with Fifey or whatever.
Well, yeah,
like
you're just kind of observing. That's the best part.
Yeah.
You see everyone's routine and everyone's different. But yeah, if he's the best that's done it, you can say, well, if he can relax, I can do that as well.
Yeah, of course.
No, it's and that everyone says like trains hard. Like break that down for people watching and listening. Like when you say trains hard, like explain it. Like what was it? Just explosive at training?
Just explosive.
Like purely on the park. Like what about in the gym?
Yeah, like trained hard. Jim, he loved his boxing.
Yep.
Just like he was like people like sees Dustin Martin as this bloke who, in my opinion, like doesn't really like footy. And you know what I mean? That sort of perception, like he's like outside the media, the spotlight, like
doesn't like the media stuff. So people think he doesn't like talking footy. Yeah, it's not the case
100%. At all. But just like the way he trained, like I remember like a few times like at training, I never had this before. Like just like playing forward in the forward line, you're like, wow, he's just done that. Like it's like an NBA player, like just rolling, like he'd fend off one. I remember maybe like my first year there, like first 3 months, I remember just copping a big like big fend off. I'm like, geez. Like,
you been on the receiving end of one?
Yeah, once. Yeah. And it like just got me like flat. And like, you know, the whole body had the shakes to it. So no, it was pretty cool. Like, but training just like putting these bursts, you're like, geez. And they're like playing with him, like kicks it. Who's doing the best kick in the AFL is at the moment?
Ooh, geez, it's a tough question. I like the way Jordan Dawson kicks.
Yeah.
But when I say the best in the comp, I mean, geez, you put me on the spot there.
Yeah. Railed you. But like,
I'll come back to you though.
Yeah, of course. But
who do you think is why you're doing it?
Oh, I'll pump him up because I used to live in his one of my good mates. And so I went in Malera.
Yeah, he's a great kick.
Great kick. But like these kicks that Dusty would do would be like not
it wouldn't be a bullet.
Like, it wouldn't be a bullet, but like he'd be like, you know what I mean? Like outside the boot, like change like the direction of the ball, like make him swing out like he was a Brett Lee. The 2006 Test match against at Lords.
Binger Lee, I used to copy Binger Lee because remember he hit that 6 to win the game. He had the big beast.
Yeah.
I think it was called the Beast. So I went and got the Beast the next day. Well, I made sure parents got it for me Christmas present or whatever it was.
Isn't it?
Yeah. The best kick in the AFL. I'm still thinking about that question. You put me. Stephen Hill come to mind, but he doesn't play right now. But he was one of the best kicks I've ever seen. And the reason I say that is because he could kick it 65, 70 on the run. Like if you wanted him to do it, like, you know, just as how far can you kick it? Yeah. But what he used to do is he could flight the ball. So if you're coming out full pace, he would take that off and he would just put it right where no one can.
Brad Hill's a great kick as well.
And that's what you want. Like I used to have a bit of a laugh with my mate, Jackie Hanneth. Hopefully he's listening. He used to play ruck at Freo.
Yeah.
And he, at that team train, like all my fingers are busted, mate. You know, when you come out on a Tuesday, it's a bit chilly. And you know,
that one.
Yeah. Oh, look at that. You can't even straighten it.
Yeah.
So I'd have the same thing, right? And I'd get, that's what I mean. You come out and Jackie Hannah's just putting the bullets in. It's like, come on, mate. I don't want to drop it.
Spit up, mate.
Yeah. I know you're trying to get a game, but so am I. Because if you drop a couple doing lane work, you look like you're not training properly, you know?
I know.
So, mate, you're kicking absolute bullets here.
I know.
So the blokes that take the weight off them.
Or when they kick them out hard and they just soften up a bit when you're in the hands, nothing better.
That's the grass. And
then you pin the shoulders back.
Yeah. So when you got traded to when you asked for the trade to the Saints, how did that go down? I love asking people their trade stories because when you got one more year on your contract, it's you're on the front foot. You know, you call your manager. But was there moments where you're a bit nervous to tell the club? Did they understand?
Nah, so it was a bit of a weird one. So I was in the hub. We were in the hub at the
that was my last year.
Yeah. Horrific year.
Fuck, that was horrific, wasn't it?
It was hard.
Whereabouts were you in the hub? We had some
RSCA resort with about 20 other clubs.
I think we were there for it.
Yeah, I reckon you're.
Oh no, we were somewhere. We're up the road somewhere. You guys had the golf course, did you?
Yeah, I played golf. I haven't touched the sticks since. Bought like $3,000 worth of sticks and haven't touched them since.
This goes to show where your head was at.
Yeah, I know, mate. I was playing like 36 a day.
Yeah, well, Jezza Cameron would have liked that because he couldn't get on the course. He couldn't fish. We were in another resort. I can't remember where we were staying, but there was 2 other clubs. We had North there and West Coast.
Yeah.
And I think we were all struggling. All 3 clubs were going shit house.
The best story about that, I was playing like 36 a day and I was just like...
36 a day?
36 a day.
That's like fucking 7 hours.
And then training the next morning. I used to pinch balls from the driving range.
Yeah.
Because I just kept losing. There was this RSCA resort. There's this massive water to the right. Well, let's just keep losing. I'm like, man, I'm sick of buying $50 worth of balls every time I'm going. I'm a horrific golfer. I'm just going to get the old range ball. Don't fly out far, but when you hit them, you hit them well. Yeah.
Well, when you got the lake in front of you, you might as well have a crack at them. They don't go as far, but for a par 3.
I know.
It was funny. I played golf the other day, and there was where the driving range is, where you just practice, the practice range, and my ball, I sliced it out there, and mate, I walked out there, and there's 1,000 balls, and I wanted to play my ball, play the ball where it lies. So I didn't want to drop another one. But I couldn't find it because it's honestly 1,000 white balls and a few of the range balls as well. So in the end, but you could have had a field day if you wanted to pick up some balls. Yeah. And that's a bit like that. I'm a bit like you. You go to the course, you've got no balls. Yeah. Pro V1s, lose all 12. You know what I mean?
You just had $120.
Yeah. Anyway, back to where we were. Where the fuck were we? I can't even keep up. We were talking about the hub. That's right, the trade. You're in the hub.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you'd had enough of that, obviously. So when did the negotiations start?
Sort of like towards the end. Like I think it was after sort of thing. I remember walking into Dimmer's office, like he's like
wherever he was, probably his room.
It was like just like I think all the players had like their exit interviews in like the kitchen. It was really weird. And I had like the list manager up on the Blair good man on the on this like whiteboard, sort of like smart iPad or something. I don't even know what it's called, man. I'm not no genius. And I was just sort of like, no. It's like, what do you boys reckon? And like, yeah, mate, we're really happy with the year. Like, you done so well. Just come off brain surgery last year. And I was like, I think it's like I need it time to change. And then I think they were a bit rattled, but I think sort of they knew. And then, come off from there.
And they were pretty good about it?
They're pretty good, yeah. Got traded, I think, maybe like last day.
Which is good. You don't want to be the final buzzer.
It'd be a good story if you got traded like on the buzzer beat, I reckon. Like,
I think Jake Ramiro was telling me he was on the buzzer.
And
it's stressful stuff because you think you're not going to go. And then all the conversations you've had, it's like, that's going to be embarrassing.
And then imagine rolling back in the club.
Yeah.
It'd be like.
Yeah. It's funny how it goes to buzzer. It's like, I get it, but get it done, boys. The trade week goes for ages now. Nothing gets done to the end. It's almost boring.
I know. Until the last day and it all starts coming.
What did they give up for you to get you?
It was like a trade of first round picks, maybe swap of first round picks.
A bit of pressure there.
Nah, I think it was like St Kilda had like pick 17. And then they traded Richmond's first round for their first round. Anyway, that pick ended up getting traded to Geelong, and then Geelong ended up getting Max Holmes, who I'm good mates with.
Oh, there you go. Yeah. Jeez, he's flying. We put up the thing the other day. That might be goal of the year against the Dogs.
Yeah.
No, he is an unlikely type, isn't he? Like, you look at him and you go, but he's powerful and explosive.
His mum ran in the Olympics and the Commonwealth Games.
Oh, there you go. I didn't know that.
Lee Naylor. Yeah, great woman. Yeah, so she.
And because he missed out in the granny, so there'd be nothing better to see blokes like him.
Yeah. Mate, he's a top fella as well.
You spoke about your brain injury and all that. Can we talk about that?
Yeah, no worries.
Because it's pretty inspiring stuff. As I do me research on my guests, it's not that I forgot about that, but I dove in a little bit deeper and I thought, it's just inspiring stuff, mate. Like that would be very scary, getting that news. But then the way you've responded, and as I said, you're right up there for the Coleman this year in a team that's down the bottom of the ladder or down the bottom 5. It's just unbelievable. So I want to hear a little bit more about that and how it all went. Like, when did you find out that was the case?
So it was a hard one because I remember sort of just playing a game. I think it was the MCG, and I was like, I'm a bit dusty. Like I didn't get a knock, but I just felt
dusty like me today after a big weekend, or like
no, like
dusty like your vision and
not a vision, just like a constant headache. Like, geez, I don't feel
migraine?
right. Yeah, like a migraine.
Yeah,
I was like, geez, that doesn't feel right. Anyway, I went to the club and I got sent to Amy Park for a scan.
Yep,
I remember being in there, like, scan your head. I remember being in there and I hadn't slept in like 2 days.
When you say you hadn't slept for 2 days, you mean you'd been going to bed, but you're just tossing and turning?
No, I didn't sleep.
And did you tell anyone that at the time? Like, that's in like 2 days of no sleep. It's crazy.
Yeah. So I didn't tell anyone. I was just sort of like, like that. And I was like, maybe it's just I'm just sick or something like that. Like, never think it's going to be AVM where I had, like, you just never thought, geez. Like, never in a million years, like, no. Nothing. Like, I never heard about people having brain surgery before I had brain surgery. I just thought, like, it was sort of like that, or like you just passed because I didn't know they could do surgery on the brain before I had the brain. Like, I thought like if you had a brain injury, you'd be basically dust. Anyway, so I remember going in there and like I hadn't slept in 2 days, and I remember falling asleep. You know how loud the scan machines are? They're loud.
Yeah,
man.
I've had 1,000 of them because of my calves, but I haven't had my head in there.
How was that calf going anyway?
The calvies, they're holding on. They're holding on. Jeez, it's hard to. I don't even know how to go for a run these days without warming up for 10 minutes.
Yeah, of course.
Anyway, but back to you.
Back to you. So I fell asleep in the scanning MRI machine first time in 2 days, and I remember just waking up and like all these people like rushed in. And I had a scan, like, I think it was in the off season. The bloke was like, I remember you. It was like, oh, Jack. And I'm like, hey, brother. It's like, mate, I did your scan on your head. I was like, oh, really? The guy said to me at the scanning thing, it's a small issue. Anyway, not my head, just like, I think it was like something sore, like in my body. Can't remember what it was.
Yeah. Like a previous scan on a hammy or something.
Yeah, something like that. Anyway, so that was pretty cool. And I saw him and he's like, anyway, I was like, mate, I can't remember. Like, tell me what happened. Anyway, I was like, because the people behind the scanning machines can't tell you.
Yes.
They can't tell you like
the reason I know that is because when I kept doing my calves, when I kept going back for these scans at the start, there was nothing popping up on the scan. Yeah. But when I nicked it, I remember going, tell me what it is, because I was at you're rock bottom at the time, and it's like I know what grade it is, and they will never tell you to the doctor. The doctor has to tell you. Yeah. So I know exactly what you're saying. Yeah.
So, but all I remember was just like sort of falling asleep, and then like they pulled me out of the machine like slowly, and like 3 or 4 people just like rushed up to me. And then like the doctor like calls me. He's like, mate, we need to get you to the hospital ASAP. I remember like going, what do you mean I need to go to the doctor's ASAP? Like I just got a bit of a headache. Like I'm fine. And he's like, you need to go to the doctor's ASAP. So me and my old man, because he gave me a lift there. Me and my old man, we were just like driving. Like we got out of there. It was like, Dad, we need to go to hospital. And Dad's like, oh yeah. It's like, oh, what's wrong? I said, oh, the doctor just said we go to the doctor. So the doctor gets on my dad. He's like hysterical. Mum's hysterical. Like everyone's crying. I'm like, what's going on? Like no one's told me what's going on. And like, I think I did that just like so they wouldn't like panic me, because I'd have been like, yeah. Like so I was getting there anyway. So I'm just sitting in there thinking. I remember like first like 2 seconds is like this person coming up to me. He's like, we need to shave your head. So I'm back in this other scan machine at the oh my God, I'm trying to think of the hospital, St Vincent's Hospital. Yep. Anyway, I get this scan, shave my head. Anyway, it's like, well, we're admitting you to hospital like now. I was like, oh, geez, what's going on? Anyway, the doctor, the neurosurgeon, Carlos, shout out Carlos, goat. I went in and then the doctor said, mate, you got a small AVM.
What's an AVM?
It's like a blood vessel that's leaking.
Yep.
So like, blood vessels, the blood goes to the vessel, obviously. Like if it's had a small leak, we'd have to send you, save 24 hours, have to monitor you. But we're going to have to send you for surgery first thing tomorrow or the next day. I can't remember what it was. Anyway, so I'm like, what the freak? Like, what is going on? Anyway, the doctor, this neurosurgeon comes in and goes, got this. We're going to have to go through your hip, get up to the thing. We're going to have to put some glue on it and then see how it feels. It's not 100%. There's all this chance of like you passing away. Obviously, it's a major thing. There's possibilities of you losing your sight, your memory, all these things. Because obviously you know how delicate the brain is. It's not like you did have a little calf. Like it's
I fucking know.
Anyway, so I've just rolled in anyway. So I've gone in that, and I remember just like sitting there. They put all these like dots on my head, like so they could measure it up probably on the thing, and then they put the dye in. And I remember just like laying there and like see my family, and I'm like, is this the last time I'll ever see him? I was like, oh. Anyway, so I actually slept all right the night before. I remember like waking up at 5 a.m, just had these like cold shakes. Obviously you can't eat and stuff for that. I remember like going in and then went up my the blood vessel, and that was horrific. I wouldn't wish it on my worst enemy. Like I was in there for the 2 days of, like I remember my head was just like it was like a massive ball out of my head. I just felt like, oh my God, like I wanted to die. Like I was like, I'm done. Like, if they said yeah, like I'd have been happy to go because I was just in that much pain. I was in that much agony. Like my whole body, I had the shakes. I couldn't sleep. I couldn't see. I couldn't eat. Like I just like was always in a shake. Like it just felt like I'd been like shot. Yeah, I was in intensive care, and then I remember being in there for 4 or 5 days, and then I was like, yep, like yeah, I'm dust. I had no vision. I felt like I was like just drunk the whole time. I was on all these drugs. Like, I had a catheter, which is like horrific. I had this people like I couldn't get to sleep when because obviously my brain was sobbing. But when I did get to sleep, people coming in every 20, 30 seconds, like 20, 30 minutes to like check on me. Like people like just had like a constant needle in my arm, like getting bloods and all that sort of stuff. And yeah, that was obviously no good. And then for like I was in hospital for like 2 or 3 weeks, and then I finally got admitted. And I remember like I was driving back home and stuff. And it's like, oh, we'll see you like in Jack in another 6 weeks for your follow-up scan, see if the glue stick. It's like a 98% chance this glue sticks. Anyway, so I'm like, oh, you beauty, like finally done. Like, and start like because I couldn't I couldn't run or walk. So I was like, I'm just going to slowly like build myself up and start walking and stuff. And I have really good support around me. Anyway, go back in for the scan about 7-8 weeks later. Like everything's fine. Like I've still like got the blue vision, getting migraines and stuff like that. Nothing like it was before. I remember like going to the scanning thing, and then I had like 3-4 doctors around me going, and it's like, he's like, do you want the bad news? When I come out of the scan machine, I'm like, yep. He goes, the glue didn't stick. We're going to have to go through your brain now. So I'm sitting there going, I'm going to have to go through all these. This is my worst like 2 months of the history of mankind. I feel like absolutely dust. I was like, do I actually want to do this again? Like, this is so bad. I gritted. I gritted, and then I went in. And funny enough, when they went through my brain, it wasn't as bad as I went through my hip.
Okay, so it wasn't as painful.
It wasn't as painful. But I had this like massive scar and stuff, and it was like way, because apparently the brain's obviously more invasive, go that way, but you can get it done. But I thought the brain would be like 4 times as worse, but it actually wasn't as bad anyway. Done the whole thing again. ICU, in the hospital for like 2 to 3 weeks, and the boys were playing finals at the time, and that was good. And then my vision was dust, everything was dust again. Like I'm like, oh, I'm gonna have to go through this. And anyway, I ended up getting it right after that, and then going to the Richmond grand final and stuff. And yeah, it was really weird. Like I just like my exercise like for the day, like the program that club sent me was like go for like a 5-minute walk. It was like, this is the best thing ever. But yeah, it was crazy. And then, yeah, I had really a lot of good support people around me at the time. So, yeah, it was good. Like, I think it's made me a stronger person, way more mature person.
Oh, mate, you're as resilient as anyone I know. Like, it's unbelievable.
Yeah, no, thank you. And, yeah, it was just hard that I went through, like, a lot of pain, and, like, I saw, like, all the people around me, like, girlfriend and all the family and all that sort of stuff, and, like, they were struggling as well because, like, they saw how much pain I was in. I remember, like, having just buckets next to my bed, just vomiting. I got down like to 70 kilos, 69 kilos. Like I was 79 at the moment, around 80. But I remember like just looking myself like in the mirror one day, and like I'm naturally like have a bit of a tum.
Oh, a little sloppy man like me. Skinny fat man.
Yes, yeah, skinny fat. That's only classics. But I remember like just being like our man Benny Allen, just had
Benny Allen.
just like had no fat. Like I was just skin and bone.
A jockey.
Yeah, I was like a jockey, and then I was like just skinny as. I remember just looking in my mirror. I remember it was 69 kilos, and I'm like, how am I going to do this? How am I going to play football? But I remember going to I remember like, because it was COVID that year, I remember like all I want to do, this is how like mentally driven I was. I remember going to hospital and going, all I want to do is play round 1 next year. All I want to do is play round 1 next year. So I didn't start training to January. I remember like, all I want to do is play round 1. All I want to do is play round. So every time I train, I'd be like round one. That's like all I cared about. Like I didn't care what was going on in the world. I didn't care. Like everyone was always asking me like, how you head? It was like, I don't care. All I want to do is play round 1.
To the league.
Anyway, I didn't end up playing round 1. Didn't get picked. But I ended up, and then COVID happened, and I had the best 12 weeks of training block going on. Like I had like a month pre-season. I remember like
Which is tiny, like you need more.
I remember like going to the club, and Rob Innes, he's a champion. He was at Sydney Swans, now he's at Carlton, one of the best in the business. He's the head guy. He was our rehab coach. I remember like just like, because I couldn't go into the club because all the noise would set off my brain. So like really? I couldn't have the conversations. So like I'd have to go into the club when no one was there and like have just chats, like me and Chino, as they call him. And like me and him would be like chatting for an hour, like doing weights. We'd go for like a walk around like the oval, like do like light weights. And be like, yeah, mate, time to go home. And I was like, yeah, I'm still getting full tote.
It's amazing your mindset though. Like you are incredible, mate. And you, as I said, you're very inspiring to people out there, including myself. A lot of people go through stuff, but the way that you're able to laugh and share these stories and even that, like just your mindset. Round one didn't get picked, but that's all right. 12 week block afterwards,
and then got picked for round 2. Yeah,
and then get picked for round 2. There you go. So like it's what we used to say. We used to say like what was it called? Shoot first, aim later. It's a bit like that, isn't it? No, just instead of trying to be perfect, just do that. But
anything's possible if you put your mind to it.
Oh,
There's a lot of
mate.
people that probably don't understand. Like,
But people don't understand what you just said, including myself. That I thought it was just brain surgery, but it was actually the other surgery prior, and the pain and not only,
I did want to live.
Yeah, it's incredible.
I was like, if I go now, like, I'd be happy.
What when you get such when you get negative news, which is yours is as bad as it gets in that moment. What's a good tip for people out there that when they get some negative news, what would your advice be to them now that you've gone through it all and you've come out the other side?
Probably my advice for them to be is like, obviously it's shitty news. No one wants to cop shitty news, but there's always going to be something along the way to make you feel better. Like, you're going to go through pain later, but you're going to grow so much as a person. And I don't think I'd be the person I am or the footballer I am today if I went through that, because I learned so much life lessons and learnt so much little things about me that I would never have learned if I just got like the easy ride. Not easy ride, but like I just went through healthy.
Yeah. So you're not really saying you're grateful for it, but you kind of are as well.
Yeah,
so you're saying that if someone was to get a call right now, it's just to be like, yep, it sucks, but just know that, everything's going to be fine and you're going to learn a lot along the way and you'll be proud of it if you can go through it.
Yeah, very, like, that's probably like if someone said like, well, I played 134 AFL games and kicked a few goals and been involved at Richmond and St Kilda, like, sort of had a decent career, but like,
had a great career, mate.
But like, there's probably like one thing I'm the most proud of is like how I sort of conducted myself throughout that journey. And like, I'm obviously I'm still here to tell a story, but then sort of come out at the back end of it, think I'd never play AFL again or never be like a proper functioning human being again, like lose my vision or like, because I couldn't watch TV for like 2 months after that because my vision was cooked. I couldn't read an iPad, so all I remember just doing was just listening to the radio. Like, I remember watching Richmond games and I'll just listen to I had the TV on, not watch it, close my eyes because it hurt me watching the TV and just listen to it.
Yeah, there you go. So you can't even really distract yourself, I guess, because that's what we do these days. The screen times are through the roof.
Yeah,
but
of course.
You'd listen to radios and podcasts and music. That's crazy. And that wouldn't hurt you? Like, that wouldn't give you a headache as well?
Not if it was not in my ears, nah. Like, if I had like
so it had to be like a radio, like the old schools.
Come off the TV, yeah.
Oh, gotcha.
Come off TV. Or like, I'd just like have my phone there and then I'd just like, I remember like my girlfriend coming in and we were just like watching like The Simpsons like that, and then we just like put it on the thing. I wouldn't even watch it, but like you just hear it. Yeah, listen to it.
Incredible. What else did you do to distract yourself? Especially, I'm really interested in this, and I hope you don't mind me staying here. Sure. But post surgery, after the the brain surgery and everything went really well, but you had that that you couldn't do much. Like, what else were you doing? Were you drawing? Were you writing? Like, what else? Because there's so much time, and you obviously. I can only imagine myself, but I'd be overthinking stuff.
Yeah, cool.
Like, were you overthinking things? Were you thinking the worst, thinking the best?
Oh, well, I just like sort of just gave up my AFL career. I thought I'm done.
Oh, you gave up on it? You thought I'm not going to be able to get back out there?
I was like, at the time, I'm done. So like that first thing, and then like obviously the doctors come in and like they say like, oh, you're getting better, you're getting this, that. How's your vision? You'd have like, it was so weird because like, I'm an AFL player, you go in hospital and have like this physio. Like you go in and like they how you walking and stuff, and I'm flying down there, got on the strut. But like, you could slowly like see like things were starting to click. Like it was going slow, but it was starting to churn. And like day by day, I'd coming better day by day. And then I remember getting out of hospital and like I was like, all I wanted to do was walk. I remember like me and Dad, we'd walk from our house, walk to Brighton, we'd walk to there, we'd walk from our house to the MCG, do 2 laps in MCG, walk back, get the train out somewhere, do random laps around some suburb we'd never seen before. And it was just fun because like I couldn't look at my phone, like I could, but like I couldn't be on it for a long time. So all I would do was just like walk and talk. Well, I just love like talking. Like when I was in hospital, like anyone come in, I'd just try to chat to them because I was that bored. Like there was nothing else to do.
It's amazing, mate. No, it's incredible. Your old man sounds like an absolute champion. And I tell you who's a champion is obviously everyone that you've dealt with throughout that moment that are professionals, like the surgeons and the nurses. Like they are amazing, aren't they? Like if you haven't had surgery with them, that's great. But if you have, you don't realise how lucky you are and how hard they work. Huge shout out to all those people.
Yeah, definitely shout
out. You would have spent a lot of time with them and got to know a few of them for sure.
I'll never forget the neurosurgeon was like, we had the best yarns ever. Like, it was like, if I could write some of this, like the stories, like he said, like how many years of study he did, and then like you go in there and you'd be like learning, like he'd be flying over the Hong Kong one day, then he'd be flying over to LA the next, like just like doing all these conferences, always trying to learn. Like they're incredible people, aren't they? Man, like you don't understand. Like for me, you just think, oh, you go to university and you do like 4 or 5 years and you're done. But like they're always learning and always trying to get better at their craft, just like in football.
Yeah, that's it. It's like you snapping a few snags over your right and left shoulder. They're doing all that. I mean, I remember sitting next to some guy on a plane coming home from just Sydney, and I think he was just getting home from a similar thing. He had some convention overseas. A doctor, it was only mid-30s, just continually learning. And
of course.
Yeah, it's a different craft, isn't it?
Yeah, very different craft.
Well, mate, that's enough on that, but I just want to say thank you for sharing that. And as I said, unbelievable stuff, incredibly resilient man you are, and inspiring to myself and others that sometimes we all complain and we think about how hard's this and all that, but it's sometimes a load of shit. When people like you go through what you've done, it's incredible. So, and then as I said, you thought you could never play again, let alone walk, and here you are. If people don't know what a Coleman Medal is, it's the bloke that kicks the most goals in the AFL competition, which is the hardest competition in Australia or the world because it's only played here. It's unbelievable, mate. So well done. Let's keep talking footy. Let's talk about a couple other moments. Let's swing it now. I want to talk about the match winner against Carlton. It's something that it stood out. Can you break down that play and that moment for me? Because that would have been a cool one.
It was cool. Probably the best goal I've ever kicked. It was. Well, it's sort of blur. Like I remember after the game, like just like my phone blew up. Like I just won the gold medal for Australia.
You played well when the phone blows up. But you had a stinker when you got like just mum and dad.
When mum goes, good game. Yeah, I've only touched it 4 times, but good patterns.
Good patterns. I worked hard off ball.
Just got me roll done. So like that was pretty cool at the time. Like obviously Carlton, and we sort of like it was sort of like not a dead rubber for us, but like we couldn't make finals or anything like that. So we were sort of just playing for pride and trying to keep Carlton out of the finals. I remember our boy Rossi just trying to spark the boys up a bit, which was good.
What was his theme that week?
No, I don't know.
Just effort. Play your role, 100% effort.
Play your role, operator. We did that, and then I remember like sort of. Like it was, one of them days where it's just like, I kicked a few, and one of the things I remember like it was like the last game, so like everyone's sort of like, we need to win this because you don't want to like come off a loss after long or play bad after you got like 6 months off. So like everyone's like trying their ass off. Blokes are playing for like roles at the club for next year. Blokes are fighting for contracts, and I remember it was just all guns blazing. And I remember getting the ball and just sort of snapping on my head, and I thought, geez, I've hit that well. Like Davey Warner playing for the Shanghai Sharks. I just smashed it out of the middle of the bat. I'm like, oh my God. It was like, that's going in. I sort of like running away. I'm like, that's probably going to get touched. It's probably going to get touched. And I remember just seeing, all I remember is big team member, a great man, just put his hand up. I didn't know how long was left or anything like that. And I've carried on like an absolute goose. I've been running back. Like, I just hit the game winning 3-pointer. But yeah, it was cool. And then I remember just like, because you know what it's like, you have your exit interviews after that. And so it was really good. Like it just made me like appreciate. I remember like thinking after the game, I was like, geez, I've just done that, like a childhood dream. And obviously, it was one of the best wins I've ever been involved in. Just how close they were because we were leading. Then they come back. They were playing for a spot in finals, and I kicked that, and then there was up for them to. I
think Freo saved them, didn't they? They lost.
They lost. Yeah.
I think that's what happened.
Yep.
But mate, what a moment.
Yeah, it was good.
One of your favourite moments so far, individually?
Probably that. Yeah, definitely.
Because you don't have. We were talking about the other day. I think it was Crispy come on our AFL show with Daisy and Wall, and we're just talking about what an unbelievable achievement that is, playing how many games he's played and how well he's played. And then we were just talking off air about the siren going, and and everyone at the MCG as a kid, you've practiced it in the backyard your whole life, but the reality is you don't ever get that opportunity, and to have one and then to make it, it's a dream. Yeah, it's the dream. So you say you don't watch highlights, but tell me you watch that a bit.
I probably watched that a few hundred times after the game.
So he doesn't watch Vision, but he watches that one.
I remember getting around that night. I can't remember, the boys were out one night after the game, I reckon. I can't remember where we went because it was Sunday night, nothing much was happening. But I remember just like sort of everyone was coming up to me, throwing up in the air like, yeah, I'm the king. felt like I was Joel Embiid, the way I was rolling around that night.
Oh, you're better than him, mate. You're better than him. That's a bit of Halliburton about that after the siren. Mate, it's incredible. Yeah, you would. And do you watch highlights like that? Say you have a down week. Do you ever just get the highlights up just to remind yourself?
No, not really. I have a thing in my life where I never relate anything back to football, my football.
Yep.
So like, e.g. yesterday, like it's going to sound a bit cringe, but I'm telling you how to do it.
Never
but like,
sounds cringe.
But I watch like Johnny Manziel.
Money Manziel.
I watch him. They'll watch Steve Smith highlights. And that's the thing, like I was saying to myself last night, obviously didn't have the best game and we got rolled, but I was sort of like, in a way, Steve Smith doesn't always make 100 every time he goes at the bat. Sometimes he has off days. Like, he can never be performing at your best. And I look at that and I go, like, Johnny Manziel, I've watched that doco so many times. I absolutely love the man. He's an incredible operator.
It's a great doco, that.
It's a great, Johnny Football, it's called. But just like relating to other sports and other people about teams and about individual players. I'm not saying Steve Smith's got more talent. He's left pinky than I do in my whole body. And Johnny Manziel's an absolute freak. I'm not saying all that. But looking at people at the top of the game and going, geez, he doesn't always play well. The team doesn't always win, but how does he bounce back the next time?
Yeah.
And I think once you have, I was saying this to someone today, not sort of going back to my football, but about how they respond. It's all about the response.
You've nailed it. I think I saw a thing the other day on the internet about Roger Federer. He's doing a speech. And he was saying he won. I think it was 83% of games he won. Yeah. But he asked the question to the crowd. He's like, "How many points do you think I won? Like, what percentage of points do you think I won?" And I think it was 54%.
Yeah, of course.
So he said every second point I lost.
Yeah, of course.
He goes, he didn't say this, but we know he's one of the best we've ever seen.
Yeah.
So what he's saying is exactly what you just said.
Yeah, of course.
How are you going to respond? How are you going to move on quickly?
Yeah.
You know, how are you going to forget that last point and just move on to the next one? Because the reality is you're not going to win them all.
Yeah, of course.
And even as a champion in his sport, it was pretty interesting to see that won 83 or 84% of his games, but only 54% of his points on the court. So, yeah, that's good by you. I like that.
No, so I always relate stuff to like other athletes.
You get a bit of, and like, it's inspiring when you're watching like, little clips and that. You need that, don't you?
I'm always on TikTok, like 4 games watching Johnny Manziel highlights.
I love that. So you love the money man.
Yeah, of course.
Jeez, he really let the Cleveland Browns down, but he was unbelievable at college.
Yeah. Freak.
And that's probably an example of someone if we go off topic here, but he just probably had the best lifestyle at college.
Yeah.
He just couldn't get that at the NFL. It's he's already lived.
Yeah, I think, as you said in his doco, like, he sort of burned himself out when he was in the thing.
Imagine him now because they get paid at college.
Yeah, mate, he'd be making a killing.
He made that,
The story's like, mate, like it'd be like you, mate. Imagine you're down at the Calder Cannons Footy Factory, and then Drake's putting you on a song. You know what I mean? Like you be thinking you're pretty hot.
Yeah, down at Craigieville there. You ever played at Highgate?
Yeah,
wow.
A few windy days down there.
Blowing a Chrissy Gale, mate, down there.
Don't blush.
Don't blush, baby. A little highlight of mine this year was certainly your quote, which was, I'll screenshot this one up. I'm pretty sure I screenshot it before I got here, but I don't like Adelaide, so I'll probably be in my room playing Call of Duty with all the boys. That is amazing when you have Gather Round coming up. Like, were you thinking about Gather Round or did you just speak your mind?
Oh, that's a funny one. It was a bit, like, you know what I'm like? Well, you just met me then, but like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't think before I say, and that's one thing I need to get better at. I remember being in Adelaide for the next week and I was like just walking down Henley Beach. We stayed there for the week. I remember just copping it. Just everywhere I went, blokes like, "Don't like Adelaide, mate, go home." And I remember I was like, "Jeez, yeah, right." That was all I had. I'm just copping it.
So what's your lesson next time? Next time you play there, can you just say, "I love Adelaide"? Yeah. Like you should, because it's a great place. You should just pump up all the highlights.
Nah, cool.
So have you got anything to tell the people that live in Adelaide?
Adelaide is a good place. I went down to like where did I go? I went down to some place and like people there are like unbelievable. So Adelaide's a good joint.
You're not really selling it. They're not buying that. No. Some place couldn't remember the name.
It was good.
It's actually, it is a great spot. It's pumping. But yeah, Gather Round next year. You should have your little pop up, up there for you.
Well, hopefully I can go some of the Shark or someone for For the
SA tourism.
tourism.
They do a bit of that, the boys.
of
A couple of
course.
cashies on the side.
Nothing wrong with that, is there?
Hey,
Gotta
get the
pay a mortgage off these days, mate.
I'll get the Coleman, mate. That'll sort itself out. That's very good. No, that was good banter. I was always thinking, like, when you said that, I was like, oh no, like the poor man's gonna be walking down just trying to get his latte, and he can't escape it a little bit.
Literally, I remember just walking down. I'm like, I can't go out, and especially when I went out, so I had like a few because we were there for the week. I remember like. You'd see your man Paulie Connors down there roaming around, and like, because it was just a footy festival, obviously what it is.
And it's really well done.
Yeah, it's really well done. Like, done an unbelievable job. But I remember like going there, and I remember like at night we go for a team dinner, and I'll have the hoodie on, and there's like hoodie and then the spray jacket over the top. Don't like Adelaide, Higgins, go home. And I'm like, geez, I can't get away.
You almost need to put the Rixies on and have the hoodie over
the Rixies on, the Dyson Daniels.
You almost need to do that so no one can recognise you.
No.
Although that would stand out like dog's balls.
And the Rixies.
Yeah. I had to ask you because I just thought, what a stitch up. You've played in Adelaide and then you've said that and then you've got another round coming up and that's funny. When do you play in Adelaide next?
Oh, we're done for the year.
Oh, thank God. Thank God. Have you got a Coleman speech? You know, we know you love your speeches, but if you did win the Coleman, have you got a speech written down?
Nah, because I'd never win it. And if the 1 in a million chance I did, I'd find a way to fry it.
I must say, the speech is iconic though. When you're at when you did win your award, that was elite.
Yeah, it was all right. It was good. I remember that was another night where the phone blew up. I remember sitting. So I got rattled. Quick story on this. So one of my mates, I was up on stage, and I'm like, I sort of knew, but I didn't know for a fact I was going to win it because Jack Rowell was presenting it. I was like, well, if Jack's presenting it, then maybe I'm probably a good sniff here. I remember just going up on stage. I remember all my mates just called me at one stage, just felt the pocket vibrate on the heart. Oh, I thought, oh, geez, I've done the Johnny Manziel here. I've brought it. But I've rolled up and I'm just like, geez, what do I say? Anyway, I look up and then there's sort of it was something of a movie, man, like this, all these cameras, all the lights going to me. I'm at Crown. I'm half dazzled. I've had a few Crownies in me, as they say in the classics.
They taste good.
And I'm up there. I'm like, geez, what do I say? And I had nothing planned. Like I was just sort of like, what did I say? I can't remember what I said.
I can't remember what you said, but all I know it was funny.
1,000 minutes per second. There's something along the lines of that. And I've just gone, I thought I said it right.
I know exactly what you mean. You say it, you actually you think it, but then you don't say it exactly how you think it, and then you walk off. Yeah, and then people go, mate, you know you didn't say that.
Yeah,
probably.
and I remember like everyone just laughing at that. I'm like, what have I said? Like, I'm up there. I'm like, oh, I thought that's the saying. So I'm up there and I thought it was a saying.
Well, it is now.
Yeah, it is. It is a saying. I remember just like looking at my phone like after I got off, and I just saw my Instagram, Facebook messages. There probably wasn't even TikTok around back then, but my whole phone was just blowing up, and then like my phone froze for like 20 minutes.
That's so good. Here, I've got it here. My heart's pumping 1,000 minutes per second.
Yeah. So I fried it there.
But you haven't fried it. I think that's better to say something like that than say it properly.
Yeah, of course.
Another great moment.
If it was up there like again, like let's say like I did win, I'd just say something like 10 times more bizarre and just rattle everyone.
Yeah.
You like that? You like that?
Mate, you should just get up there and just rock it. It's good. That's a great quote. My heart pumping 1,000 minutes per second. It makes it much more enjoyable anyway. There's nothing worse, just so you know, as a viewer. You'll be there one day. You got plenty of years left. When you're sitting there and watching these, not just awards, but even like a post-match presser, when it's just mundane, mate, you know, just the what I call the straight bat.
Steve Smith.
Yeah, the Steve Smith, mate, just the straight bat. Like, we want a cover drive, mate. We want to see, get back.
We're playing 2020s here, mate. We're not playing one
That's
day.
it. We want to give us some entertainment. So when you say shit like that, it's fucking gold.
Yeah, not that I'm even trying to like be different or something like that, but like it just comes to my head and I say it. I'm a bit like, good. You know what I mean? I've just rolled it, and then if I cop backlash or whatever, I just roll the punches back.
You've had a few moments there, the phone blowing up. That's good.
Yeah,
they're all good moments though. Goal of the year, not bad.
Yeah, of course. I just like hate to see in like 20 years' time if I do ever have kids, and then like kids like come up to me and say like, no.
Do as I say, not as I do, kids.
Yeah.
Oh, mate, they'll be full of energy. That's no doubt. Let's talk about Saints, the future. You know, the club. What do you want to see out of yourself for the rest of your career? Like, have you got any long-term goals?
Oh, obviously to win a flag, like everyone else in the AFL. Like, just win a flag. just play as much games as I can for the St Kilda Footy Club and just be a good teammate. Like, I know how much cliche that is, like saying, "Oh, yeah, I want to be a good teammate," but just like play as many games as I can for the St Kilda Footy Club, many clubs games in the AFL, and just do my best every week. Sometimes that may be 5 goals, that sometimes maybe 1 touch or 0 touches. You know what I mean? But every week, just put a consistent effort in.
Yeah, it's really well said, and it's important to have people like you doing that behind the scenes. Where do you think St Kilda needs to improve? Like, you know, it's a list that's young, which is good. It's actually, you'd rather see a younger list together and building versus like having a bit of a mixed one from, you know, look on the outside looking in. But where do you see yourselves? Because you know, we know that you guys always are rocking up with 100% effort. The team defense is always really good. You know what you're going to get with a coach that's with a team that's kind of coached by Rossi. But where do you guys see yourselves? And you know, do you guys talk about that? Obviously, there's the mountain analogy. Your man Shawnee Richardson, is he still down there? The old yawn. Is he still down there yawning a few things out? Hey? And they have a few things that he works for 10 clubs. Hey, he just pulls the trademark off everyone else's walls and puts them together at St Kilda, does he? No, that's tongue in cheek there. But just goal setting as a club, and even, you know, bleeding in the youth. Where do you see, you know, St Kilda the next 3-4 years?
Yeah, well, hopefully can be in a contender. Hopefully very soon. It's just, I think now we're just sort of trying to build the basis to play finals and then keep building that, because as Ross says in the classics, like the real season starts in finals. So trying to get the finals and then go step for step. Like we saw Melbourne back in the day. Like I remember playing against Melbourne and we beat them. Richmond, and then 2 years later, like they won the flag. You know what I mean? Like it's sort of like things can change quickly, and I don't think sometimes when you're not playing the best football you can, like things can change. Things can change very quickly in this game and in life. So hopefully that we can be playing finals very soon and being a strong contender.
If you're the list manager, right? Now the big DeConing's been mentioned. What's he going to get? 13 mil or something. Let's put him aside. We all know that he's getting targeted heavily. So you know your work's been done there. Who would you love to recruit to the club?
Any player in the AFL.
Yeah, any player. You got to pick one player and put your list manager hat on.
Yeah.
Because you don't want to have someone that's 35, you know, or 32 that's just flying.
Yeah.
Who do you think you'd love to have at the club?
To play with?
Yeah.
That's a very, very good question. Probably your man Toby Green.
You'd love Toby to come home and
star.
He would be good.
Star. Toby, I don't know, maybe Toby probably. Yeah, I think he's a freak. I think he's the best. One of the best. He's even a small forward. He's like a hybrid mid-small now.
He honestly can play. He probably can't, you know what, he won't like me saying this, but I don't think he could play back. Yeah. But the reality is he could. Yeah, he could play anywhere. But he's played. People forget how good of a midfielder he still is, but he plays mainly forward now.
I remember watching him. He's been maybe Giants first, second year. I remember going and watching the St Kilda game against Giants. What number did he start wearing? Like 43. I'm like,
35. Yeah, 35.
Good number. Kevin Durant. I remember saying, who's this 35 bloke? And obviously, like, Toby Green. Anyway, I kept a really close eye on him. And then I sort of, like, coming up for my ages, like, I sort of, like, loved the way he played. And, like, I love how Toby's probably not the quickest bloke or, you know what I mean? But he's just so smart with his body positioning and all that. So I think, yeah, he's one of the best players in the AFL. And just, like, consistently, like, I think he's, like, 60 goals in the season and then been All-Australian captain. And
yeah.
Pretty freakish.
Mate, he's
operator.
a freak. He's a freak. He turned it on the weekend. We're obviously recording this after his 250th, but he really put him on his shoulders early and all the boys jumped on. 28. I think he had 3 goals, 3 and 13 score involvements. 13 score involvements. So enormous numbers for a forward that played a little bit more mid.
Yeah.
What's the biggest difference from playing at Richmond to now playing at St Kilda?
Probably the biggest difference is that, probably a simple question. You probably play the MCG every week, and then we're playing in Alice Springs this week, and we were playing in Adelaide. We played just playing all over. You went to the Mighty Saints.
I don't complain. The Giants have played at more venues than I think anyone. They, So don't you like you obviously love playing Marvel and the G, but do you just love the G? Do you?
Yeah, G's goated.
Yeah, it seems like the football. It's a bit more high scoring at the G as well. I find Marvel being a bit low scoring. I don't know what it is.
I don't know.
Must be the team defense or something.
Yeah, I reckon. I don't know. Probably just a conspiracy theory around there somewhere. But I just reckon with the G, because you got all conditions, you got wind, you got a bit of like, you know, it's like gets dewy at night at the G and stuff, or any ground. So I think sometimes it can the ball can move quicker or slower, and you can sort of pierce through more. And it's way bigger than
it's bigger, so you can spread the field and opens up more 45s and whatnot.
Yeah,
so
you know it is, mate.
Yeah, that's it. This is a good one, but has your perspective on life changed after your injuries? And if it has, like, what is your perspective?
Yes, it definitely has. Just that life can get taken away in an instant. Doesn't matter if you get a 99 ATAR or play or win 101 F1 world champions. Like, you just got to take every day, as cliche as it sounds, every day as it is, and just be grateful because people are going through worse things than you.
If Jack Higgins wasn't an AFL player, what would he be?
Probably a brain surgeon. What I would be, I'd probably be somewhere. I don't even know where I'd be, to be honest, because that's all I wanted to do, but probably just doing a bit of real estate work. I can charm a rattlesnake, as they say in the classics.
Yeah, that's right. You're very good with people. You get them. You'd be able to sell a few. You could sell Iceland Eskimo.
Mate, I could sell pizzas. I wanted to, mate.
You want to sell some Rixies online?
Yeah, I will, mate. The Dyson Daniels.
I'll get you the photo there. There we go. Someone mentioned the Coleman here. This is the Coleman's been a theme, obviously, for me, but we'll stay on it because it's an amazing achievement. Mention the Coleman race, and he could be the first small forward to win the Coleman since Lee Matthews, 1975. What would that mean to him?
Jeez. I'm never going to win it. There's so many better.
Can't say never.
Yeah, of course. But there's so many better forwards than me in the league. I don't know. I think it would just be if I did win it, let's say once in a million, I pick that little rattlesnake jar. If I did win it, it'd be incredible. Obviously, been a small player, been through the challenges I have been in life and this, that, other. Like, I've had, like, learning difficulties since, like, I was a little kid. So, like, you know what I mean? Like, to win, go through all that, not that the learning difficulties was a struggle, but just go through so much pain and this, that, other, and, like, get my dream, win a Coleman, man. Like, obviously winning a flag's better, but, like, that's pretty high up there.
Money man, Zal, move out the way. I reckon there'll be a documentary coming your way soon. There should be a doco on you, to be honest.
Netflix, you reckon?
Oh, mate, wherever you want
Amazon Prime.
What's got more viewers?
I'll have the Rixies on. Rolling out electric. The Rixies on.
Playing for the team you supported as a kid, what has that meant to you?
Yeah, it's been awesome. Like, I always looked up to Stephen Milne, his football.
The tip rat.
Yeah, tip rat.
I saw him online the other day on TikTok, I reckon, giving it to the crowd. He's still kicking sausages.
Hey, he's a star. I always loved his football. I love his personality. Like, I don't really have much to do with him, but I loved watching him play back in the day. I remember going to all the finals. I remember going to a Saints year, maybe when Ross was actually coaching, and I remember seeing him when they won that, like, 17 games in a row. Yeah. I remember going to all the games and stuff like that. So it's been pretty awesome. Like, obviously, when you're there, it's a bit more like when I first got traded, it's like, oh, mate, the mighty Saints. I remember, like, banging with these kids, but it sort of wears off. Like, it's like a job, but like, it's still awesome playing for them and stuff and barracking for them because all my family, my mum, my dad's grandparents, dad, all went for St Kilda, so it's pretty cool.
It's like my family, they're all Essendon. I was always trying to get home to the Dons. Lucky
Down the hangar.
Yeah, lucky I didn't. Would have been on the sidelines for a while. But yeah, I know exactly what you mean, and they would love going to the footy.
Yeah,
and,
of course.
It's a bit different when you're there, as you said, but it's pretty cool. Do you have any photos of? I saw a photo of. Obviously, I was at Toby's 250th, and I saw online that Hurdy presented his jumper for his 250th, was awesome, and Hurdy's obviously Toby's favourite player. Oh, yeah. And Hurdy even said in his speech that Toby's one of his favourite players to watch now, which is pretty cool. But they had a photo as kids, like when Toby was a kid, and Hurdy was probably in his prime. Yeah. Do you have any photos like that now, where you've?
No, I don't really have any photos.
Do you have a photo with Milne or something?
Nah, never had
no player photos?
Nah. I remember going to, like, a few opening training when I was a little kid and having a few signatures. You remember, like, they give you a big signature. I remember being a huge footy card collector when I was a kid. I had, like, the old man probably went broke and mum went broke with how many footy cards I was buying. Yeah. After school, Dad, can we get some footy cards?
Nothing better, going to the news agents after Auskick.
A few Star Wilds. But yeah, just like having all the footy cards. Like, I was a massive footy fan, like playing the AFL live games back in the day.
I saw that just come out. What's your rating?
I don't know, probably 105. Like all that sort of stuff. No, just a massive St Kilda fan.
There you go. I was just asking that because it would have been cool to see if you can, get the same photo again now that you've all grown up.
Yeah.
Now, mate, you mentioned the Rixies. You don't come on here and go home empty-handed.
We were on the train on the way home, I reckon.
So you trained here?
I trained here, yeah.
You called me because I'm not much of a train operator, even though the nickname is the train. But more of an Uber.
The Prime train.
Yeah. He's a good man, the Prime. Jeez, and talk about finding the footy. He can find the Nurry, the Prime. Yeah, I passed you the Rix box of gold.
Jeez.
There's a few Rixies in there, mate.
Or what?
Yeah. So pick your favourite pair. Have a look at them.
What's the Dyson Daniels?
Well, he had the Champagne Melrose.
Oh, jeez. A bit.
So anyone out there that wants a pair,
these are Dyson Daniels.
That's the Dyson Daniels special.
So chuck them on.
Chuck them on, mate. Oh, look at this. the 2025 Coleman Medalist in the Melrose Champagne. Have a look at Higo go. There you go, the Rixies. If you want a pair, you look great, mate.
Thanks,
you
mate.
look fantastic. You're looking sharp. I like your shoes as well.
No,
Where'd you get them from?
No, they're Brad Hill's. You actually
you stole them off Bradley.
He sold them to me, the dog.
What did he sting you for
I
them?
think his wife, I think he's a 9.5 and I'm a 9. I think he's like, do you want to buy these shoes off me? I was like, do you want these shoes? I'm yeah, of course. He's like, yeah, 150 transfer.
That's not bad. That'd be 350, I reckon.
Oh,
400.
Really?
Yeah, they're great.
I think, beauty boy.
Anyway, we should be pumping the Rixies up, not them.
The Rixies go to mate. Don't worry about that.
Now, sunglasses, inside or outside?
What do you mean?
Like, would you wear them inside or just outside?
Like now?
No, like just in life.
Yeah. Oh, no, not really much of a. But the Rixies, mate, you wear them any time, any day. Mate, it could be night at buddy. Could be night at the MCG, mate. You're still wearing the Rixies, mate.
We asked that question because we love our American sports, and when we had Dyson and even Jock and a few other boys on.
Oh, Jock Landale, top man. Train a bit with him. He's really good,
mate. Great. They all are. They're all so humble. Sonny's inside in America. It's just massive.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
You just roll around in Sonny's.
People wear them all the time.
Well, it could be
me personally, owning Ricks, I don't really like sunglasses inside. Like I can't see anything, but people over there just love them.
So you could be like, let's say, like at a bar, and your blokes would be wearing.
In America, they wear them all the time. Yeah,
at night.
At night.
Well, so you'd be. At the Emerson.
Yeah, the Emerson, they've got the Rixies on.
Back.
Yeah, it's unbelievable. That's why we asked. Play on or out of bounds. What's your favourite place in the world? If you could take your Rixies with you, where would you love to just shack up after the season with a bit of sun? Get the rig out, mate.
Nah, the rig's sloppy and I don't like sun, so there's two. I'm too white for that.
Maybe put the rashy on there.
Yeah, but mate, your boys give me stick because I wear that massive. You know that t-shirt you wear underneath in the summer, like the take you in the sun. I always got stick for that. So I don't really like the sun. I don't know how hot. Probably if there was one place I could go in the world right now, would probably be, I'd say Denver, Colorado.
Oh, nice. That's elite. What are you doing over there? What are you watching?
Mile High City play. Joker. Love Joker.
He was stiff to exit. And what do you think about the the NBA MVP? Did you think he was robbed?
Oh, well, they're always going to give it to MVP voter fatigue. It happened to him 2 years ago when Embiid won it. Like he's been the best player in the league for the last 7 years, and they're sick of him winning it because he's too good. That's in my personal opinion. And I think a lot of people have that opinion. Like, mate, the stats he averages every week and every time he plays is just incredible. No one else will do it. In my personal opinion, I may get a lot of flack for this, but I'm used to getting flack for outrageous quotes. I reckon he's better than Jordan.
Oh, say that again.
I think Nikola Jokic is better than Jordan. I'd rather Jokic on my team than Jordan.
That's amazing. You wouldn't have seen much of Jordan, though.
Nah, but I watched that doco called.
Yeah, The Last Dance.
And I'm just sitting there, Joker's better, mate. With the doco and Joko coming out.
I love that. I mean, I love your bold call. I haven't seen Jordan play that much. So when everyone talks about the LeBron and Jordan, you're saying get LeBron out of that combo and get Jokic in.
Mate, Jokic, 3-time MVP winner, 1-time NBA MVP winner. He doesn't have the best list he plays on. He's not playing with superstars. He's not playing with Scottie Pippen and but Jamal Murray can turn it on and off. But this bloke is an absolute shows up night in, night out, and just rocks up and plays and scores his 30 triple-double and says, thank you very much. I'm going to go watch the horses. And
he loves the trots, doesn't he?
He does, yeah.
It's amazing how he loves the trots.
He's got a horse called Dreamcatcher. That's his number one horse. Yeah, I know a lot about him.
Dude, how do you watch? Like, where does his horses? How do you watch his horses?
I don't know. Probably some app.
Yeah, we have to get PointsBet. Our friends at PointsBet, which we are built different. You're built different as well. But maybe we should get whenever his horse is running, get a market out there because he puts that much time into them. The only time you see him happy is when he gets when he's on the beers and he's watching his trots run around.
Yeah.
It's incredible stuff, mate. It's incredible. Righto. Well, anyone that wants a pair of Rixies. You tell them where to go. Where do you think they have to go?
Go to ricks.com.
That's it, rickseyewear.com.au and use the discount.
What is it?
We are worldwide. Well, you say .au because you're in Australia, but .com.
.com.
Yeah, worldwide.
.com.
Yeah, if you're listening to this anywhere in the world, which someone would be loving your work outside of Australia, hopefully.
Probably Joker.
Straight from Denver. Use the discount code ACES. It's at the bottom of the screen right now if you're watching this on YouTube. And you can also wear a pair of Rixies like Higo and get a little discount there at checkout. Mate, what else you got for me?
No.
While we close the show, it's elite. It's been elite work.
Am I one of your best ever?
I never discriminate.
Give me an answer. Stop sitting in the fans. Andrew Gaze.
I love your energy, mate. I love your energy. I was talking before the show. Yeah. You are right up there. People that come in and just up and about, high energy. But what I said before is your story is as good as I've ever heard.
Yeah.
And you probably it's probably good for you to tell it sometimes to remind yourself. How many times would you kind of tell that story?
Not really. I don't really tell the story much. I tell it if someone asks me, and there's so much like my not all the same story, but like you ask my parents, you ask my girlfriend, you ask everyone's got like a bit of the different story in their perspective, but that's like tell it in my perspective and how like worrying it was. But yeah, I think once my career's over and done with, I think I'll definitely be telling more about it. Yeah. There's definitely a lot more to be said about it.
Yeah, it's awesome. And I think, as I said, we joke around here, but you got a book or a doco, or there's plenty that you can, there's a lot that you could still tell and share because it helps a lot of people, man.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. And for me, like, it doesn't really feel like it helps a lot of people, but it probably does. Like, man, a lot of people are going through.
Well, it's courageous, man. Not a lot of people talk up about the stuff,
Yeah,
they're like, oh, no, I'll keep that private and keep moving, or the ego gets in the way. They want to be the AFL player and, look perfect and all that. And the fact that you're vulnerable and open up about it, it's awesome. So, no, I appreciate you sharing that. That's why I thought I'd ask.
Well, it's easy to share when you get the Rixies on, mate.
You plug the house down. I get another pair out for the missus. Get your missus a pair of the Bostons or the Austins in there as well.
Daniels.
Yeah, you've stolen them once. Well, that's all I've got, mate. Well, hopefully you guys keep dominating, and or especially yourself. And to everyone that tunes in to our American Aces, hit that subscribe button and like this podcast and share it with a mate that needs to hear this story. I'd imagine a lot of people out there would need some motivation. And we'll see you same time next week right here on American Aces. But just can't thank the great man coming in for jumping on and sharing your story and having a laugh, mate. And looking forward to a few more speeches coming up very soon. So thank you guys and see you next time. Cheers. Aces, I know that's the end of the show, but here's a shameless plug for Ricks. It doesn't come without great value. Use our discount code ACES to get 20% off site-wide on us. And don't be worried about shopping eyewear online. We'll give you our 90-day free return policy just in case they're not the perfect fit. Head over to rickseyewear.com.au and find your fit today.
Come on, ref, he's offside.
It's the biggest rivalry in Australian sport, State of Origin. And at PointsBet, if you place a head-to-head bet on Game 1 and your team is up at halftime, you win. That's right, back the shield-holding New South Wales Blues or the Maroons, and if they go into the break ahead, get paid out early as a winner. Check your account for personalised max stake limits. PointsBet, built different. What are you really gambling with? For free and confidential support, call the number on the screen or visit the website.